A very good morning to everybody, and thank you very much for joining us today, where we will be having a look at communicating with clients to the lead up to Christmas. My name is Susie Hardy, and I'm going to be your moderator today. I'd like to introduce you to Michelle Morgan, our content manager at Business Fitness, Charles Clark, he's the co-founder and marketing director at BOMA, and Liz Studholme. So over to you guys to take everyone through today's agenda. Thank you.
Hi everyone, thanks a lot. Thanks Susie, and thanks everyone for coming. It's Michelle here. Business Fitness publishes tax compliance and business advisory content to accounting firms. I'm delighted that Charles and Liz are joining me here today. Hi.
Thanks for having us, Michelle.
Hi.
Nice to be here.
Yeah. BOMA is a digital marketing communication platform for accountants with ready to share content for emails and social posts. You'll find business fitness content in BOMA, which you can share with your clients. So let's have a look at the agenda. Today, we're here to talk about the kind of messages accounting firms typically want to communicate to their SME clients around this time of year. It isn't a presentation on tax or compliance. It's looking at opportunities to connect with your clients in the lead up to Christmas, to add value for them and reinforce your role as a trusted advisor in a way that's professional looking and time and resource efficient for you. We'll look at using content on the BOMA platform and some of the content that you can access. Charles, would you like to comment on engaging with clients? What are SME clients looking for?
Thanks, Michelle. And look, I thought it would be worth just delving into the insights that some research conducted over the last couple of years by our friends Practice Web in the UK have really highlighted. And pre-COVID, it was all about expertise. That was the number one most highly valued characteristic of a successful accountant. But post-COVID, it's really switched, and now it's all about communication. And I put on screen now, you should be able to see two quotes that were highlighted in this research report. And I thought they really hopefully will drive home the message that we're trying to deliver, is that it's all about communicating with your clients well. And you can see here in the first quote that as much as we might like to think that from an accounting perspective, the service that you offer is maybe unique or sort of differentiated, from the SME's perspective outside looking in, from a technical element, they don't actually see a massive difference between accountants. So then it's actually, how are you going to differentiate yourself? And you can see there, what is important to them are the soft skills, communication, feeling loved, and then doing a bit of thinking for them. And so in terms of differentiation, we're thinking about a way that you can do it efficiently and proactively. And so that really comes back to marketing. And marketing, if you sort of look up the definition, is all about the communication of information. And luckily for us in this digital age that we all live in, you've got many options that you can use to communicate and market. And so think, in terms of regular email updates and newsletters, posting regularly to your social media channels. You have the option to run online and in-person events, educational webinars, obviously utilizing your website and the blogs that can go on it, and so on. And the point behind all of these sort of small and regular activities is that they're going to help you to educate and inform your clients and also reach your leads. And this is not just about the services that you provide, but it's also about topics that are going to be relevant and impactful to their business. So it's less about you and more about them. So we're also going to think about how we can market yourselves to current clients and leads by communicating in a way that's going to build that relationship with them. It's going to establish your expertise, and very importantly, is going to lead to great conversations. And whether that's a great conversation with a current client about upselling them to a service that they don't currently take, or with a lead and bringing them on as a new client. I'll just finish by saying that the number one way that accountants still get new clients and that people still look for their accountants is through word of mouth recommendations. So I would just keep in mind that alongside your excellent service, the best way to give your current clients the confidence to recommend you to their networks is going to be through showing them the love, being predictable in your communication, and having those great soft skills, which you can always bolster through your marketing and comms activity. Now, Susie, I think, can you hand over to Liz, and she's going to actually take you into the platform and have a discussion with with Michelle about some of the Wolters Kluwer content that's within.
Thanks, Charlie. Susie, can you see my screen? Can everyone see my screen
Yes,
now?
I can. Yep, we can. Thank you, Liz.
So great to see so many people here. I know some of you will be familiar with BOMA, so we won't go into a great depth of what BOMA is, just a very brief summary, but we're really going to look at that content and how we can make it super easy for you, particularly at this time of year. So as some of you will know already, BOMA is a marketing platform built specifically for accountants and bookkeepers and business advisors. Within the platform, you can create emails, social media updates, branded web page. If you're not controlling your website, you might want to put content online in an easy way, and we host that for you. Lead forms to capture email addresses for newsletters or events, or for a download in return for a downloadable guide, and you can advertise on social media. The thing that makes us different from other digital marketing platforms is that we're all about accountants and that we have content. And that content, the most recent, is displayed here on the dashboard. If I go into the content library, we can see that full volume of content. So there's hundreds of articles and they're updated weekly. They're specific to your region. And we also have content from Wolters Kluwer. We're really excited about that partnership that we have. I work very closely with Michelle on that. So this obviously allows you to bring real value to clients and leads, and it's going to make your Christmas newsletter super easy. So you can search simply by scrolling. You can search using the global categories, for example, tax here. You could search using cash flow or a search term. And if we look at a piece of content, I'll just click into something here. You can see that BOMA's provided everything for you, so that it makes it super easy, but you can change all of this. We can see that we can share it here on email, social media. I could share this on my blog on my website as a blog. BOMA's provided the image for my blog, email, or social media post. The social comment is written for me, even with hashtags. All of this I can change if I want to. And the longer form email content or blog content is written for me. And it would simply be a matter of clicking deliver and then making the changes I want. If I go back to the main content library and click off cash flow, you can also see our partners here. So let's go into the Wolters Kluwer Premium Library. So at this point, I'm going to bring Michelle in. Let's have a look at a piece of content, entertainment expenses, obviously quite topical for this time of year, Michelle.
Sure, yes. Make it easier for clients to make their decisions about entertainment plans. We have a guide attached from a link from the article. This explains what expenses are deductible, claiming the GST portion, where adjustments might be needed, and where FBT might come in. So there are also examples of things that are fully deductible, things that are 50% deductible, and things that you can't claim for at all.
So when someone sends this piece of content out, they can obviously have shared this on their website as a blog, but also and have this downloadable guide there. But also if you're sending this as an email, that will be a clickable link within your email so that you're giving people all the examples. It makes it super easy to send that advice out one-to-many, and then with a call to action at the end, be sure to contact us so you're asking people to come back to you. Something that also is sort of around the similar kind of topic is that giving gifts. Michelle, do you have anything to say about this piece of content?
Yeah, remind businesses that if their Christmas giving includes gifts to clients, some gifts will be fully deductible while others will only be 50% deductible. So there's a brief explanation of the tax basis, and the guide gives some examples.
Now, this particular piece of content doesn't actually have a guide, but we have got a longer form on giving gifts. This one is very much a seasonal relatable content, but I think if I search gifts.
Yeah, client gift expenses and their tax deductibility.
Yeah, which is more a sort of all year round, and also has the guide there that you can click on with examples. So something else, I think, obviously if you've got, actually if I go back into the main library, you'll see, so we've got all of that fantastic content in the Wolters Kluwer Premium Library. If you can scroll through all that content, there's content on all different topics in there, and that's updated weekly. There is also a little bit of content that Wolters Kluwer provide within our freemium library, and if we scroll down, here's an example of one of those. If your clients are employers, obviously this time of year they're going to need to be very aware of the Holidays Act. Michelle, what does this article cover?
Well, at this time of year, some businesses are thinking about, they're getting ready for a close down, and others are actually taking on extra staff. So whatever the situation, some tips on calculating holiday pay, leave entitlements, rostering over public holidays could also be useful. If they're taking on staff, it's important they follow a good employment process. So just some things to get them started, and some links with more information.
Fantastic. And again, you can see you could share this as a social post. That would be your image, but you can change it. There are millions of images within BOMA you can choose from that are free to use. This would be your social comment. And if someone clicked on that post, they would see the long form content. Let's go back to the content library. One other piece of content, which is obviously nice to start your Christmas newsletter with, wishing you a safe, relaxing Christmas. Again, by Wolters Kluwer, with your social post written for you, and not just a happy Christmas, but also some key compliance dates included to help people in the lead up to Christmas so that nothing is forgotten. I'm going to use this piece of content to start a newsletter. So let's click deliver, and I'm going to send an email. Now I am going to show you how to put that newsletter together, but I'm also probably going to share on social at the end, but I'll show you how we do that. So first step is wishing you a safe and happy Christmas. That's the title of your campaign. Your clients don't see that, but if, for example, I was going to say, I'm going to send this to my employers, my clients who are employers, I might reflect that here. Click start. And now we can start building out our email. First step, use this button here to select who you're going to send it to. You can select them manually, or you could filter using your tags here. And obviously you might have an employer tag that you can use, which I'm going to find. I'm going to actually just deliver to all my contacts here as I'm in a test account. Click save and close. And then we're going to start looking at subject line, preview description. So we've got our subject line written for us, but again, you can change that. I might change the preview description and just take out that first bit of text and give them a reason to open this email. So it says, check you're prepared for compliance dates. This is the first piece of text that someone sees when they open their email, so you want to make sure that it is relevant to your email and motivates them to open it. Finally, let's select a template. I'm going to select branded templates, which are the sort of easiest way and most straightforward way to go forward in BOMA. We could select this full article, but because we're going to create a newsletter, I'm going to select an image with a short format of text. So I'm going to select that here. And as this opens, you'll see BOMA has created a template for you. You simply need to upload your logo into BOMA, and we pull the colors from your logo to create a template. So here were the other formats down on the right hand side. That is the long form. If I want to add that in as a single email, I've chosen the short form. And I might actually change the text on this button. So I know there are compliance dates within this long form content, so I might give people a reason to click on that button. Oops. Then let's add a little bit more to our newsletter. So within here, if I was writing just a newsletter, I might add dear and use a merge tag to choose the first name. Because I am going to now, when I've finished my newsletter, share it on social, I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to write season's greetings. So if I go back into rows, and using this little drop down at the top here, I can actually go back into the content library and choose more content. I could either share something perhaps from my website or something I've read online, or go back into the content library, which I'll do here. We looked at this content on entertainment expenses earlier on, which I will just search for. And I'll use that as my next piece of content. And then you simply choose the format and drag that in. So it's a really easy formatting, drag and drop. When you've added this new piece of content, you can then change the text to anything you like. And again, here I might change read the guide. Let's go back to Rose. Michelle, while I'm adding more content here, what other sort of topics do you think would be relevant at this time of year to share that we have got content on?
Well, you just zeroed in on the cash flow one, and I think that's always worthwhile thinking about. Everyone's racing to get everything done, but remind them that they've got some significant dates coming up in January. They need to think about their cash flow plan. Are they on top of debtors? Will they have some big invoices coming in from suppliers at a time when they don't have much income? So those kinds of things. Or maybe an article encouraging them to like sit and breathe and slow down.
Yeah,
to
that's right.
to work out what they really need to do before they close down or before they head off to their party.
Very good advice. So I've included the articles that we've already reviewed, the entertainment expenses, giving gifts to clients, and the content for employers about the Holidays Act. But obviously this is a Christmas letter, and as you said, it might be nice to include something other than just tax advice. So that might be a book that you recommend, or a recipe. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to go into a separate tab here, and I've got an Annabelle Langbein Christmas cake. I'm going to copy that URL back into BOMA and add more content. So instead of now selecting from the content library, I'm going to add a website URL. And if I paste that URL in, BOMA will pull the image and the first section of text from that website and create a short post for me. Now it will need a little bit of massaging to make it look right, but if I drag that in, I might change the title here. The text isn't quite what I wanted, so I'll go back in, select that first little bit of text there, and change that. And then I've got a recipe at the end, and I might change the button here. So you can see that all of it is simple, drag and drop. It's very intuitive. It just makes it extremely simple for you to put that newsletter together and not spend hours writing. Final thing though that I would like to add is a sign off. And obviously a Christmas newsletter, it might be useful to tell people when your office is closing for the holiday period. So if I now click into the content tab, I'm going to drag in a text box, and then I'll put some text in here just to make things simple. I have written that text already. Otherwise,
earlier.
Yeah, that's right. If I was doing this from scratch, I'd probably start just writing, but just for the purpose of the webinar. So I've put in when we'll be closed, when we'll be open again, wishing everyone a happy Christmas, and obviously please get in touch. So there is our newsletter. We can preview here. I'm going to preview at the next stage, so I'll save and close. And that will bring me back into my review and edit content. So you never send until until you are asked to schedule your campaign. You always have another opportunity to review and edit. Let's preview that now, and we can see what that newsletter will look like when it goes out. Now, given that I've said I'm not going to put a dare, this is the content that I would like to share as a social post as well. So if I click back to my review and edit, I can go down to the bottom. I do recommend you send a test email to yourself or someone in the office to check that you're happy with it. And now let's add a social post. So yes, share my email. That doesn't immediately share it to social. Again, you'll get back to the review and edit, and you'll be able to make changes for the social channels that you have linked. I have LinkedIn, LinkedIn Personal, Twitter and Facebook linked, and I might, for example, add a little bit of text in the middle here, like, you know, we are the same text that I added at the bottom of my email about our closing dates, and get in touch. And then I can preview what each social post will look like. Here's what your tweet will look like. So it's as simple as that. You can see that at any stage you can change images, you can change text, you can make it totally about yourself. You can start your own text, your own campaign from scratch, or you can start with the content library. With the Wolters Kluwer content in BOMA, it does make it super easy for you to communicate with clients and support them at this time of year. Final step is to schedule. If you have got to sort of 10 o'clock at night and it's got a bit late, maybe don't send it now, schedule it for a specific time and schedule campaign. When you've sent your campaign out, you can go back into your campaigns and you'll see that campaign is sitting there ready to go. While it is scheduled, you can still revert to draft. And we can see also the campaigns that we've sent previously. And because this account is a test account, you're going to see content for other countries, but that's not what you would see in your account. And you can see where it was sent: email, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Each campaign you'd then be able to click into. Again, a test account doesn't have much data in it, but yours would, and you'd see impression data across your channels. So that's BOMA in a nutshell. I'm going to pass back to Charlie and Michelle to talk about how you can access this content and get started.
Thanks, Liz. If you're already a subscriber of CCH Business Fitness content, you can obtain a code from us to unlock the Wolters Kluwer Premium Library. You'll also need a subscription for the BOMA platform, and if you're interested to know more about that, you can set up a free trial of BOMA.
Yeah, so it's very easy. Just go to bomamarketing.com, sign up for the free trial. You've got 14 days to give it a go, and obviously during that period, if you are a Business Fitness subscriber, you can obviously have that unlock code to view Business Fitness content. You can, if you're not a Business Fitness subscriber, purchase it in BOMA for $40 a month plus GST. Now, during that sort of 14-day period, or obviously longer if you sign up, we offer ongoing onboarding, training, assistance. So, you know, everything that you need to sort of get up and running and making most out of your BOMA subscription, and also all the amazing Wolters Kluwer content within it as well. Now, I realize that we are doing really well on time. You know, I realize that you guys are all busy in the lead up to Christmas, but Susie, do we have any questions before we go?
Great, thanks very much, Charles. So everyone, just if you've got questions before I read out some that have been asked today, just a reminder, click on the little orange arrow. It's probably collapsed on the right-hand side of your screen. Come down to questions and don't forget to hit send, making sure that that gets sent through to me. So there was one question that was asked during the webinar, and the question is, are we able to add a section of text that isn't copied from somewhere, i.e. not a web link or a content item? So I think, Liz, that was when you were putting in the link to the Annabelle Langbein Christmas cake. So a section of text.
Yes, and actually it doesn't even need to be from another website. You can add your own text. So at the very bottom, I dragged in a text box and started typing, hey, our office is closed at this time. So you could actually, I've shown you how to create a newsletter using content from BOMA and Wolters Kluwer, but you can use our email editor to create something that's totally written by you. Does that answer that question?
It was clear to me, Liz, so hopefully it will also be clear to the person who asked.
Text, you absolutely can. If you want to include text from a website or from a content library, you can do that as well.
Excellent. So there is another question.
Sorry, just to add on, that's also the same for social media. So you can use the social posts from BOMA, you can write your own, or you can combine them if you want.
Excellent. The person that asked this question says, thanks. Yes, thank you. Looks like you can mix content library with personal input. There's another question here from Joanne, who's asked, how does BOMA obtain all of the client email addresses? Does it access something like Zero Practice Manager, client database, directory, or? So
Can I
Yeah.
share screen as well, so I can, while you explain that, Charlie, I can show people?
Sure.
Or
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll just
if
the
that's
presenter
okay.
again, Liz.
Thank you.
Okay, so just while that's coming up, so so BOMA does sync with Zero HQ, and we are also building to XPM. And so if you have anyone in Zero HQ at the moment, you can sync them in, and then they will be updated sort of every day. And you can see at the very top, Ben Wilson, the source is Zero HQ. So he's been synced over from Zero HQ. And obviously, as I said, we're building to XPM, and hopefully we'll get that out in the next, or sort of early next year. Now, the other way to do it is that you can import a CSV, and the cursor's just hovering over that. So you can take contacts from anywhere that you may have them, import them into a CSV. That's pretty straightforward. And you can also bring in tags. So you might have, people who are tagged as client or lead, maybe they're directors, maybe they're agricultural sector versus maybe retail. I mean, you can see there that Liz is just hovering over a contact, and you can see the various tags that have been added to that person. Now, the great thing with tags is that when you have them assigned to your contacts, when it comes to sending out an email, you can think about who would be relevant to include as in the audience for this email. So you might say, great, this email in particular is going out to my clients. So you can actually segment your database and send it only out to those people who are tagged as clients. You can obviously go further and exclude certain tags. So, only your agricultural clients versus your farming clients, for example. So tags are a really great way for you to, I suppose, make your email content super niche to a select audiences if you want. Obviously, if you want to send out maybe a Christmas newsletter to your entire database, you can do that as well.
And you create your own tags, so they're really relevant to you, because obviously every accounting practice will be different. Some of these tags are tags that are based on what someone has downloaded or done from you. For example, they've taken up a free advisory offer, and therefore you can contact them about that. Any other questions, Susie?
Great, thanks very much. Yes, there is another question here. Karen's just said a slideshow showed BOMA at $40 per month. Is this an additional cost if you have CCH iFirm, as the BOMA website shows a different value? So I'll just show that slideshow again.
We'll bring in Michelle as well on that, because you're adding iFirm. If you have a Business Fitness subscription, you can access that Wolters Kluwer Premium Library for free on top of your BOMA subscription. So the BOMA subscription is separate, but yeah, Michelle, I'll just get you to come in there on the iFirm subscription.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, some clients subscribe to iFirm, but they don't necessarily subscribe to CCH Business Fitness, the content in iFirm. But as long as they subscribe to the Business Fitness content in iFirm, they will get the content in the Wolters Kluwer Premium Library for free, but they will need a BOMA subscription as well, and they can talk to you about that.
Yeah,
so
and just so everyone's aware, the BOMA subscription it starts at $99 plus GST per month. You can save 15% if you move to an annual. And when I say starts at, that probably is for the majority of accountants. If you have more than 5,000 contacts in your database, then it goes up slightly to, I think it's 139. Anyway, so I assume for most people will have less than 2,000 contacts. So you'd be on the 99 plus GST per month.
We can also let people know. So if you are already subscribing to BOMA, and you have a Business Fitness subscription, you do need to get your unlock code from Wolters Kluwer, because we obviously don't see your subscription, they do, and then we can help you unlock that library. That's super easy. If you don't have a Business Fitness subscription, but you still would like to access that content within BOMA, you can pay an add-on fee and that's where you saw that $40 per month.
Great, thanks for explaining that, guys. That's awesome. We have time for one last question before we end the webinar today. How often is the content updated?
So I'll start with BOMA, but I'll pass to Michelle for Wolters Kluwer. So there is a lot of content in BOMA, and that includes BOMA content. We have some content from the GAP for subscribers of the GAP. We have MyHR, Xero, and a little bit from Spotlight Reporting and Vend. That content is updated with new content every week. And I'll pass to Michelle for how often the Wolters Kluwer content is updated.
Thanks, Liz. We add content to the Wolters Kluwer Premium Library every week, and we add to the free-to-use content once or twice a month. And also, when tax rules change, we update the articles and the guides if there's a guide.
Excellent, team. There are no more questions that have come through. I will end the webinar now, unless you guys have anything else to add.
No, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks everyone, and feel free to do a free trial with us. We'd love to see you.
Good stuff. I will end the webinar now, wishing you all a very Merry Christmas, even though it still seems a long time away. And thanks a lot. I am ending this right now. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much, Susie. Bye-bye.